It is Sunday, November 17, 2019. Welcome to LCJ Live. I'm Lights Camera Jackson, here with Olaf and Elsa, because Frozen 2 is just a few days away. But Disney has already won the box office before then, because they now technically own Fox, and Ford v Ferrari is your number one movie in America with $31 million. On today's show, we're going to go through the box office. We're going to preview Frozen 2, Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, other movies coming out this coming week. Talk about what happened with the box office, some good, some bad, some ugly. And I'll tell you a little bit about The Aeronauts, which I watched last night, the new movie that reunites Eddie Redmayne and Felicity Jones. As always, send in your questions and your comments here on LCJ Live. What did you think of Ford v Ferrari? Did you see Ford v Ferrari? I think it's great. I think, it's not a perfect movie, but I think it has the potential to become a classic, because a lot of people will watch this in years and years to come, especially if you're a diehard car racing fan. I think you are going to watch this. You're going to flip it on TV. It'll be on cable TV. It'll be on different outlets. And you're going to really enjoy Ford v Ferrari, because Matt Damon gives the best performance of his career, and Christian Bale is terrific too. What's interesting is that they're both going for lead actor nominations this award season. They could get lost in the shuffle. There's a lot of people in that lead actor category, as I wrote on Twitter the other day. People like Joaquin Phoenix and Brad Pitt and Adam Driver, and the list goes on and on and on. Taron Egerton, too, and Leonardo DiCaprio from earlier in the year. There are so many people. I don't know if either one of them are going to get in that lead actor category, but they do give great performances in a film that must have been challenging to shoot, because James Mangold, the director of the film, who did Night and Day, which I think is totally underrated, and Logan, had to shoot a lot of those car racing scenes. It's dominant in the second half. That's really challenging to do. A lot of directors can put a camera in front of a couple actors and they can do some dialogue scenes, and that can dominate a movie. But a lot of this movie is the car racing itself, where the movement is really important, and the quick eye movements as well, and the looks at people are so important, and James Mangold is able to capture all of that. Best Damon performance of his career, that's a bold statement, LCJ, says Bob Hall. I was looking at Damon's movies and his acting roles over the years, and I'm going, yeah, he's better in this than all of these. He honestly is. It is a career best Matt Damon, because it's the subtle performance. It's the performance where his mannerisms are important, his inflection is important, the emotional aspect through his character. Carroll Shelby, the iconic car manufacturer. Matt Damon is fantastic. So is Christian Bale. Christian Bale in the car through a lot of the film, and you can just see the tenacious looks on his face in the key moments and in some of the dialogue scenes earlier on. Go see Ford v Ferrari. I didn't think the fight was necessary. You see the fight in the trailer when they're on the front lawn. I don't know. It breaks up the momentum. To me, there's a few lighter moments that really break it up. Didn't need to be there. And some of the characters, like the Josh Lucas character, who's kind of the villain, really cartoony, kind of forced. But Ford v Ferrari is a good, old-fashioned, American, agenda-free film. It's a film unlike many others released in recent years. Responsible Rob wants to know if I liked The Irishman. We've been talking about that the last couple weeks here on LCJ Live. I was on radio talking about The Irishman as well. Good film, not a great film. 3.5 hours, and I kind of didn't get excited very much during all the 3.5 hours. Don't get me wrong, Pacino's amazing. Pacino could win supporting actor. He is fantastic as Jimmy Hoffa. De Niro's good, Pesci's good, Sebastian Maniscalco pops in for a few minutes, Anna Paquin pops in for a little bit. She's really good. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of mellow. Scorsese tries a few tricks. Yeah. Leave your agenda at home, Hollywood, says Bob Hall. Is Marvel cinema responsible? Rob wants to know. Look at the Scorsese-Marvel debate. Look, I think Marvel cinema, I think Scorsese may be a little jealous of the money these Marvel movies are making, but it'll all come down to the Academy Awards. That's going to be the showdown, because Scorsese's going to be there nominated for The Irishman, and that there's going to be some Marvel influence in there somehow, just by the fact that ABC is, airing the Academy Awards. So something's going to happen. We know it's going to happen. Some presenter's going to make a crack at Marty. or Marty's going to present with somebody from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Something's going to happen, and it'll be a truly fun moment. Am I a Disney Plus subscriber? Yeah, this is the first LCJ Live since Disney Plus has gone live, though I've been able to watch some movies in advance on Disney Plus, like Lady and the Tramp. I am not a Disney Plus subscriber because I am in their screening room access. So I have that, which I appreciate very much from the folks at Disney Plus. So I haven't gotten the full Disney Plus yet, but I appreciate the screening room access. More movies at the box office this weekend. Midway dropped to second with $8.8 million. Opening in third is Charlie's Angels with just $8.6 million. What a bomb. Here's the problem. This movie didn't have an audience. I don't think anybody really wanted another Charlie's Angels movie. Look, Elizabeth Banks is talented. She's doing a good job hosting Press Your Luck. Pitch Perfect 2 was good. But she didn't need to do this. Now, I haven't seen the movie yet, but I don't know. I don't really have an interest to see it, to be quite honest. The three leads don't appeal to me as far as this concept. Having Elizabeth Banks involved in it, I just need something fresh. You need something fresh out there. Nobody needed another Charlie's Angels, and the money proves it. Just $8.6 million. That is abysmal. It honestly is. And then you got Playing with Fire in fourth. That's still doing pretty good for Paramount. It's doing a lot better than Terminator, which, Terminator's made more money, but look, Terminator opened at number 1 2 weeks ago, dropped to 5th last weekend, came in 11th this weekend. It's already out of the top 10 after just 2 weekends. Paramount is, pulling their hair out. It is so crazy, these results for the Terminator movie. But yeah, Playing with Fire. And then Last Christmas, I believe in 5th with $6.7 million. Dr. Sleep not doing so well for Warner Brothers, dropped to just $6.2 million this weekend. And then another Warner Brothers movie, The Good Liar, $5.7 million. That's not a huge open. I was expecting a little more, especially because I went on Friday to a very crowded showing of a lot of people who are a lot older than I am. But I thought it was going to do a little bit more, but it's not in as many theaters as some of the other movies, so you look at the per screen average and do all that. I did not like this movie. Ooh, Good Liar. Good Lord, in some places. Good God, as James Brown would say. Because it's based on a novel, and it gets really extravagant, and things that only happen in novels translate into the movies. When you're trying to latch on to a character and believe that they don't believe what's going on, it's a little complicated, but basically there's about halfway through a revelation happens, and you think that Helen Mirren's going to go along for the ride and what Ian McKellen is telling her, and that you don't believe that. So then when the third act twist happens, you're not really surprised, and then it just goes and goes and goes and keeps adding and adding and adding. Just didn't work for me. Good Liar. Not a good film, and I am telling you the truth when I say that. Bob Holt thinks Charlie's Angels was barely promoted. I don't know. I mean, I saw Elizabeth Banks was doing some talk shows. I saw the trailer in several places. But yeah, Charlie's Angels bombed, and Good Liar did not do that well this weekend. And Terminator is already out of your top 10 for the box office. So it is wacky. Of course, heading into this weekend coming up, we have a lot to look forward to when it comes to money. First of all, Frozen 2. Second of all, Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. Third of all, 21 Bridges. And fourth of all, if that's even a phrase, the Knives Out screenings are happening this coming weekend, Friday and Saturday night. We'll see where Lionsgate puts that money. 21 Bridges, I think it was a mistake that STX didn't... I mean, they're going to open the movie this Thursday at 7 o'clock, Thursday the 21st. But why didn't they just open the movie on November 21 for 21 Bridges? That would have been great. Start the showings at noon and market it as opening November 21. It would have been perfect. You already delayed the movie twice. If you were going to do it a third time, look at the day before the November 22. Oh, it's 21? Oh, let's market it November 21. They should have done that. They honestly should have. So we'll see how that does. I don't know. I'm not feeling it because it's going to get overshadowed by Frozen 2 and A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. Frozen 2, I wrote a blog piece about how I don't think it's going to be dominant as the first Frozen. Because the first Frozen was a monster. $400 million. Now, maybe Frozen 2 gets close to that. But here's the thing. And I haven't seen the movie yet, but I'm seeing it this week. It looks darker to me than the first Frozen does. And if the film is darker, and the tones and the themes and the messages and the scenes are not quite geared for young kids like the first one was, and the songs and everything, then kids are not going to say to their parents, let's go again. I want to see Frozen 2 again, Mommy. It's not going to happen. Kids are going to want to see something else. They're going to want to see Jumanji, even though that's PG-13. They're going to want to see Star Wars. They're going to want to see Spies in Disguise on Christmas Day. Or watch something on Disney Plus like Lady and the Tramp. I don't think you're going to get the repeat business from the kids and the family audience that you got out of the first movie. Now, maybe older kids, adults, 20-year-olds, couples, maybe they go see it once and then they go see it again if they really like it, but I don't know. I just got this gut feeling that the repeat business is not going to happen as much for Frozen 2. Now, talk about a movie that they've been marketing like crazy. You walk into any store like a Target or a Five Below or anything like that, and you will see Frozen 2 everywhere. Will it pay off? Disney is crossing their fingers. Now, when it comes to A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, Tom Hanks as Mr. Rogers, it opens this week as well. It's going to try to capture the older audience. The older audience that went out this weekend to Ford v. Ferrari. So and maybe even The Good Liar too. So will those movies drop, including Ford v. Ferrari, for everybody going to see Hanks as Mr. Rogers? We'll have to see. This could be like many Tom Hanks movies in recent years, like Captain Phillips and Saving Mr. Banks and even Sully and a few others. They start out pretty good, but they hold steady. Bridge of Spies did this really well. They hold steady over a number of weekends into certainly Thanksgiving and into Christmas. That's kind of the play I see for A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. Could start out pretty well, but it'll be a steady player over the next several weeks. So I watched this movie, The Aeronauts, last night. Eddie Redmayne and Felicity Jones reunite 5 years after they starred together in The Theory of Everything, where Eddie Redmayne played Stephen Hawking and Felicity Jones played one of his wives. And Felicity was nominated for the Academy Award. Eddie Redmayne won for playing Stephen Hawking over Michael Keaton in Birdman, which I will never get over because, look, Redmayne was good in that movie, but Keaton gave a career high, once in a lifetime, incredible performance in Birdman. And while the Academy acknowledged the movie, for some crazy reason they didn't acknowledge him. But anyway, they're back in The Aeronauts. You know what's really interesting is they're putting Felicity Jones up for lead and they're putting Eddie Redmayne up for supporting. I don't know why, because Eddie Redmayne is in the movie nearly as much as Felicity Jones is. She's in it a little bit more, probably like 3 or 4 minutes more than Eddie Redmayne is. I don't know, when a woman has more screen time than a man in that respect, even though they're basically on an even playing field, does that mean the man has to automatically go supporting? What are we doing here? It's definitely a lead role from Eddie Redmayne, definitely a lead role for Felicity. They are the main two characters in this movie and two of the only characters in the film. You are with them. They play, he plays basically the first meteorologist and she plays a scientist. And in the 1860s, I believe, they decide to go up in this hot air balloon and try to go higher than any human ever has before. And it's based on a true story. You can look it up, but the problem is that her character is not a real person. His character is. Her character was completely made up. Eddie Redmayne's character in real life went with another gentleman up in the balloon in the 1860s. But for some reason, they decided to make it a woman. Maybe to have them reunite, or maybe there's other things going on. So I'm not sure I love that a core component of this film was fictionalized. She's good. He's fine. It's a decent story. It's okay. It's a little lightweight. It's a little short. The movie's about, 90 minutes plus credits. Visual-wise, they stress the visuals of this film significantly. Whether it's the wide cloud shots, you see the hot air balloon off in the distance and you just see clouds and you see tiny little graphics and things. Some of the visuals are better than others. You remember Gravity with Sandra Bullock and George Clooney, how they got in tight on them, but they didn't go in so tight that it looked fake. There was a restraint that Alfonso Cuarón had with the camera. Tom Harper, who directs this movie, who also is the director of Wild Rose, one of my favorite movies of the year. Love that movie, but we're going to put that aside. He goes in too close on these two sometimes, and sometimes the authenticity is lost, and you do feel like they're on a soundstage. So far away, everything's digitalized, but it looks good. Medium, there's a nice balance when there's enough distance from the camera and the two of them in the basket. But sometimes he goes in so close and you lose it a little bit and you take yourself out of it a little bit, which is unfortunate. It is. This film was designed to be seen on a big screen, but even me watching it on my TV, I could tell all of that. So I'm going to have my full review coming up at some point soon, probably later today or tomorrow, for The Aeronauts. It opens in select theaters December 6th before going on Amazon Prime Video on December 20. New LCJ Q&A podcast episode tomorrow, and new animation scoop Q&A. Wow. With the guys who did Piney the Lonesome Pine. It's an animated short for the holidays, and it's qualified for the Academy Awards. And one of the guys, Todd Edwards, co-wrote and co-directed the original Hoodwinked, which was the first movie I ever reviewed. We talk Hoodwinked, and we talk Piney. You're going to want to learn all about all of this tomorrow. Look for that all over social media. Twitter at LCJ Reviews included. And again, I'll be seeing Frozen 2, Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood this week. Probably going to try to see Knives Out. We'll see about that. And some other awards movies. You know, it is that time. The Critics' Choice Awards deadline for us to submit who we want to be the nominees is Friday, December 6th. So that is 2 weeks from Friday. Wow. And there's still a lot of big movies I hope show up or in an email or to the house, you know, to watch as screeners for awards season. Was able to see Bombshell this week, which was a huge get for me to be able to see that early. Charlize Theron plays Megyn Kelly. It is Megyn Kelly's birthday tomorrow. I'm going to put out a tweet, which is some opinion about Bombshell. Has a lot to do with Megyn Kelly and Charlize Theron's performance as her. Look for that. Because I can't post my full review yet, we're embargoed until December. But look for a post tomorrow all about that, and look for more again all over social media: Twitter at LCJ Reviews, Instagram at LightsCamJackson, and the website lights-camera-jackson.com. This is your award season headquarters. This Thursday, Independent Spirit Awards nominations are out. It's the first major awards nominations of the awards season. We'll see who gets in there. My fingers are crossed for Alfre Woodard in Clemency. I hope she gets a nomination. So we'll see what happens. So Spirit nominations Thursday. We'll be back here next Sunday. We'll talk Frozen box office, Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood box office, and much more on LCJ Live. I'm Lights Camera Jackson. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next Sunday for more. Bye-bye.